All right, guys. Welcome to the party with Marty. It's not so much of a party today for us guys. This is one of the days for pro wrestling I think I have dreaded more than anything. And I definitely got some things I want to share, but I want to hand this straight over to Marty. I know this has to be hitting you really hard because you worked with the guy, you were beside him for years. And I mean, it's still new, it's still fresh. Let me hand it over there to you, Marty. How are you feeling right now?
Well, it's I'm. Let me just say it right off top. I not comfortable doing this right now. Um, he was to everybody in the world. He's Hulk Hogan. To me, he was my friend. Um, I can only treat somebody, love somebody, and care about somebody according to what they treat me. And he was always so good to me. And I, it just, in a way, don't feel right to be like, what are we seeing in news, breaking news? I mean, it just happened, and we're doing this. But I mean, my brother told me, go ahead now because you and him were good friends. And let people know that because people are wanting to know everything now, about him. Um, I've got a few stories I can tell that, to exemplify his personality, who he was. And did I just use the word exemplify? I don't even
Yeah,
know
I
if that's
think it fit, man.
It might be the first time I've ever used that. Um,
Sucks,
but
man. Really
yeah,
sucks.
you know what's crazy? The two biggest icons of their industry within a couple of days of each other.
So I said, please God, no more, dude. My childhood is broken right now.
And that's another thing that all my friends would text me and my family.
I can imagine.
Um, I got hit right when I was talking to Ricky Morton about tonight, and I guess I got it texted before he did, and I told him, "Man, Hope just died." Yeah, he kind of, they hit him hard too. Uh, so tonight we were going to do him, but we'll reschedule because
E-
we can't do. We're
Everybody
background.
understands, Marty. Guys, we were supposed to be interviewing Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express tonight. This will be playing in place of it instead of anything going on at night. And I'm sure I was talking to Marty right before we came on. You got lots of pictures of you and the Hulkster
Yeah,
that we can share later. We just didn't have any time. And we know that the fans are looking for somewhere to grieve as well. This is just Ozzy, now the Hulkster. Uh,
and then they're so related because rock and roll was Hulk's thing too. He loved Ozzy. I'm sure Ozzy
absolutely.
loved him. So wow. And they say it happens in threes. Who's next? Shit.
Dude, that's what I was just sitting there thinking, man. I don't
But
even want to name any names. Just,
I, you know, I think it's human nature that as time goes by, we tend to forget any bad things and hold on to the good things.
that's right.
That law of pain, uh, uh, pleasure, pain principle. You always want to move towards pleasure, move away from pain. So same way in our thoughts and memories. Um, I don't have any bad memories of Hulk. Some people were upset with him because he could not do something for them, but he was doing so much for so many people.
Dude, he made so much money for all you guys, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean,
if you were on the card with Hulk, you got paid based off of the gate.
Yeah.
You wanted to be on there under Hulk.
Here's what the new guys even today should thank Hulk, because he made wrestling elevate to where it's never been before, and it's still going.
Never been
since.
It
started with Hulk and the WrestleManias. It started right there. That man changed. I love Ric Flair. He was, right there with him, but Hulk is the man, because he went to Hollywood and whatever else, and just the whole mystique and stigma with him elevated us. I mean, you get to hear about him now because he's done some commercials and done a couple of things, and his daughter's wrestling. But before all of that, when you would watch news or watch sports or actors talking, everybody always referred to WWF back in the WWF days, and they always referred to Hulk Hogan. There wasn't, he became Hulk Hogan on me. He was the one. He took our game on up, and it's still going this way.
Absolutely.
I mean, a lot of people, like you say, they don't like the product today, but the product today is what today wants, or it wouldn't be the product today. You wouldn't be doing 2 WrestleManias in a row, Saturday and Sunday, which, was unheard of. We would have never thought that back in my day when we did WrestleMania 5, 6, and 7 that I was on. We never thought they're going to start doing these in stadiums. Not arenas, stadiums, and they're going to be sold out, and 2 nights in a row. I mean, it's just going that way, and it's because of him. I mean, without him, who knows? Would it just plateaued out and stayed there, or would it just went? Who knows? But my loving memories of him. I got to take one time out real quick.
You're good, bro.
All right, hold on.
So if you don't mind, I would just like to say, and this is not any of the opinions of Marty. I've watched for years as WWE made these documentaries, and it seemed like they always did this. Who was the top superstars? I remember like one of the greatest top 100 greatest superstars. And I think he was down like at number 20 or something. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? He is Hulk Hogan. They have tried to minimize his impact for so long. And I've seen it numerous times. No disrespect to Steve Austin. I'm a Steve Austin fan. I think he was amazing. But they've tried to say like that Hogan was nowhere near the impact that Austin was. He was like tenfold of Hogan. If you lived in the 80s and 90s, Hulk Hogan was the end-all be-all for professional wrestling. He was our real-life superhero that came to beat up the bad guy. We lived through him. And I remember getting to meet him back in 2010 for the first time, man. I got that picture right here. One of the happiest memories for me the whole way home from Atlanta, dude. I was like screaming and shouting like I finally got to meet my idol. He has never truly gotten the respect that he deserves. Was he the greatest wrestler? Not technical, but he could sell those seats just by talking. His emotion, he was real, man. And I hate the fact that they've tried to minimize that, but let me shut up now. I was just covering for Marty as he got back.
Yeah, you don't got to show, because that it was interesting to hear. But going back to where I was saying, like you said, your childhood, well, I was in the same industry, and I'm trying to move up the ladder. And in 1980, actually, first time I actually saw him was 87 in person. With Sean and I got fired the next day. But in 88, we came back and met him, and we clicked it off right off. We were buddies from the beginning. And he to me, he was in the power position that you could be in. It was Vince and him, and they butted heads on who had more power.
And was the man.
Yeah,
that had to be intimidating for Vince.
There's nobody else ever been like that. The Clique thought they were, but
no.
Vince was so shrewd ahead of them. He used them for what he wanted to get done, letting them think they were in control. But Hogan, people started bad mouthing him after I got to know him real well.
Right.
Bad mouthing him because I asked him, he can't do it. He won't do this for me. Man, he's. I mean, you got to do for yourself. One time him and I were riding together. I don't know where to. And he goes, I had mentioned somebody bad mouthing him. I said I didn't appreciate it, but he goes, I get it all the time, and brother, I get it all the time. Doing my best Hulk. Brother, I cannot save the world. I'm trying.
Oh man, that's a powerful. I know what that's like.
Yeah,
you can't be there for everybody.
Yeah,
no matter how much you want to.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do. I mean, that time he wanted to help his friend Rick Martel, who went as the model Rick Martel. He wanted to help him, and he goes, and I'm just, brother, I'm bowing out. It's too much. I mean, he didn't like the peer pressure of, hey, because he's friends with so many people, and they all want something. They're not just friends; they're friends wanting something. I mean,
they didn't so much want him; they wanted what he could do for them.
Yeah, I mean, at a lesser level, I got that from the guys that were underneath me. I got no power, so I probably came off to them. In fact, a few of them have told me, well, you big league me. Once you made it up there, you big league me. Man, I ain't got no power to go in there and say, hey, can you bring this guy in? But, so at his level, everybody. I just had a few lower, level than me as far as in the business I'm meaning.
But to your point, if I may, Marty, think of how many of his friends that no matter where he went, he made sure they were looked after and had them a job.
Yeah.
If you had Hulk as a friend, he was going to take up for you.
I'm going to try not to say too much about this because their relationship is in and out, and I don't know where. I haven't spoke to Beefcake today or his wife, Missy. But they were so in and out the last few years. I don't want to say much, but I mean, I will say Beefcake was all because of Hogan. And I don't know.
You say that with all due respect.
What's that?
I said, you're saying that with all due respect. That's not a shot at Brutus.
No, not at all. I love Brutus. But yeah. And the fallouts came afterwards, and I don't want to say why I was told that they happened because I don't want her mad at me. So I'm not going to say.
Addie said they posted positive posts this morning talking about Brutus and Missy. It's good to hear.
What happened?
Addie said that I'm guessing Brutus and Missy posted some positive posts about Hogan.
Good. I'm glad to hear that because they were very good friends.
He was there for Brutus. He was there for all of his friends, man. Knobs, on up. If you had a friend in Hulkster, you had a friend. Yeah,
we would we'd hang out in the clubs, together. I think, sometimes if I got to acting, or either one of them, Sean or I, generally me, you got to acting a little bit.
I love your honesty, though.
But it's just the truth. And,
it is.
Hulk would start easing away a little bit further away in the club. Next table gone. But we'd always be hanging out together. I got one picture. I posted it on my Facebook one time where Hulk was standing right in front of me. I'm right behind him and sitting there. There was nobody else right in front of me. And all of a sudden, he was talking to Sherry Martell. They were sitting there. And I posted, like I said, I posted this on my Facebook a lot. All of a sudden, it was like, God, I think he gasped so bad. In the picture, somebody from the side took the picture because my face, I was like about to throw up.
He was pretty outspoken about his love for flatulence and farting.
Yeah, man, he got me on that one. I was like, damn, can you step up one step at least?
Hold back on those vitamins, brother.
Yeah, they got me. But the one thing I thought where I gained the most respect and care, love for him was, I was living in Orlando, Florida. Tons of the guys were living in the Tampa Bay area and still do. A couple more in other parts of Florida, but he would, like, on when we'd have 3 or 4 day, 5 day breaks, which was rare. Generally, they're always 3 days, then 20 or 30 on. But on the days, one of those days off, he would invite everybody in Florida, all the boys, all of them, anyone that wanted to come to his party, a boat party. What he would do was rent. It's like a 3-decker, 4-decker, 3 decks, and would blow four decks. A band on their party boat. What it would do is go out in the Bay Area in Tampa.
Yeah.
They just go out and circle around for 2 or 3, 4, 5 hours, which would be like 3 laps around the bay. And I mean, everything. All you do is show up. You eat, you drink, you party, whatever that might have entailed back then. It was the best times. Nobody ever left sad. And a lot of boys, more the Tampa boys than I mean, it was just me and a couple others that would come down from Orlando. But there were several times, and he paid for everything. You didn't have to your gas to get there.
That's important to note because that was rare in the wrestling business.
I mean, here's the guy that you're talking down, and he's doing this for the guys, inviting every one of the boys in the Florida area. And I'm sure if you lived somewhere else and you heard about it, you wanted to come on. And but that can't be cheap.
Well, let's be honest, dude. I mean, I think whether it's wrestling or anything, people like to attack the guy at the top. And let's call it for what it really is. It's not necessarily anything they're doing wrong. It's jealousy, because most of them probably wanted to be in that spot. But that was not an easy spot to be in. Hulk earned that spot, and that was a lot of work to be in that spot, and probably a lot of pressure on top of it too.
And you know what I don't understand about that is that I had never looked at anybody above me, as far as on the status of wrestling.
Yeah.
And became friends with them and like, hey man, do this for me, do that for me. I think that's what Hulk liked most about me, because we became real good friends. I never one time, and I wouldn't. I simply wouldn't.
I think everybody knows that of you too, Marty. It just comes off naturally. You don't even have to say that, bro.
Yeah, and the thing I will say is that if you can't make it on your own, then you don't deserve to make it.
There you go.
You shouldn't make it because the guy above you pulled you up there. That's just bullshit to me. But, so many people held that against him. He would talk stuff, and then other people, word of mouth, they hear that, and they're like, oh, it's like that. No, man, there was nothing wrong with that guy. There was a little trouble that happened a while back, and I know Hulk better than most, where he used the N-word in his house, and whoever it was, allowed in his house out. Let me tell you something, man. I don't care what anybody wants to say about racism. You don't have to be a racist to use a word that's attached to people. I've got as many black friends as white. And you know how many times I've heard them say cracker, and they go, oh, sorry, Marty. Just like
especially your friends. If you don't talk to each other like that, I don't think you're a friend. If you're not picking at me, calling me names, I mean, people think I'm Mexican. I've heard it all, and I
Yeah.
laugh about it.
Yeah.
I've never heard before that moment anybody claim that Hulk Hogan was a racist.
I
He
know
was in
for a
the
fact he was.
privacy of a home and being recorded. And there's not a person out there that hasn't said something stupid in their life. He owned up to it. He said he was sorry. And I've heard all of your coworkers from back in the day, especially the black coworkers, say that, man, Hulk was never anything but good to
No.
me. You know, you never heard anybody say anything wrong
They're
about him. But
simply a
people like to
word.
take that one thing to minimize you. And that has
Yeah.
just pissed me off, man.
Well, and whether anybody wants to admit it or not, it's not for you to use that word. Either side to use that word
No.
doesn't mean that you're hey, I'm a racist. It just means that's a stigma or a name that's put to people, like what they call wetbacks or whatever. Wetbacks, who gives a shit? But it's a known.
Were you talking about me just
then,
then, Marty?
wetback, but you know what?
You calling me a wetback?
I'm in trouble now, ain't I? But you know, I mean, it's there as a word. It's a slang word. Doesn't mean you don't like those people. When I say those people, meaning whatever that word pertains to. But I can tell you a definite sure, because I knew him well. He was not not even close to a racist.
And all this stuff he did for kids, man, the Make-A-Wish Foundation, we wouldn't even have. I mean, guys, like, it's really hard, and it's going to take us a while to process the loss that we just had. I was in the middle of grieving Ozzy. Those were my two main idols. These days were the ones I was dreading the most. Ozzy and Hulk. I never would have thought they would come in the same week, just a couple of days, you know. So to get that news while I'm still reeling over Ozzy, man, but we would not have Wrestlemania, guys. WrestleMania started because of this man, and it's still going on all these years later. It's the #1 event in wrestling because of this man, Hulk Hogan, that just passed away, Terry Bollea.
Let me give you another little story of how cool this guy was, good to people. There was, he had parties a lot. He liked to party.
I heard, yeah.
And I would like to clear something up real quick to hit the internet, where I had talked about a gumball.
You're known for doing that, Marty.
Yeah, I know. Where a gumball machine was filled, and as you got, it was with pills, and if to come into party, you crank, you get 2 or 3 instead of gumball things, just pills.
Did anybody ever put those in their fanny pack?
What's that?
Did they ever put those in their fanny pack?
I don't think so. I don't know though. They might have, but I had said it was. I had mentioned Hulk's name, and it turned into Hulk, and I'm not going to say the nasty voice. I just won't say whose party it was.
We won't mention knobs and sags. We just
no. And by the way, that's I'd heard.
I love it when he does that.
A while back. When I say a while back, about a week ago, that Hulk wasn't doing good, and I don't have his newest number. I start thinking of stories.
You're good, man. Everybody just realized, again, this was last minute. I know it's hard. And Marty, before we came on the air, we talked about it. At any point in time, if it gets too rough, bro, just say something. I am going to try to stick around a little bit later on, guys, so I can read your comments and your memories with the Hulkster, so we can do this together. The wrestling world is grieving right now. This is a very, very sad day.
Well, and I had heard, somebody said he wasn't doing good, and I had not heard it. That's the first time I'd heard it, so I didn't have his newest number, because we have habits of changing our numbers because people get them and spread them. But I had asked, I don't know, I probably shouldn't mention Knob's name because he may not want to be mentioned in this. So a friend, I'd asked him, because they are very good. Were good friends with Hogan. And I asked him, "Have you heard anything?" And they didn't hear back, which was rare because he would always, text back, call back within certainly within the day. And then I didn't hear nothing, so I sent him a text saying, "Hey, I'm sorry if that upset you, because I don't know y'all's relationship right now." Still never heard nothing back. So maybe he knew something we didn't know.
The number one person
remember
I believe that's been reporting on it has been Bubba the Love Sponge, which him and Hulk really clashed. That was who was involved in the lawsuit. But we've been hearing for like the last month that he was on death's door, and I wanted to believe it as a rumor because we've had so many reports come out that certain people die, and then we find out it was fake. I was really hoping that was the case with Ozzy.
That was the first thing I thought today when I heard it. And another thing, again to you, Hope. It started. What time is it now?
1:30.
I think it started around 10 or 11 this morning. After Ricky and I were talking, Martin.
Yeah, we were planning on
doing
our podcast for tonight.
Yeah, and the first one came in. Hey, Hulk died, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I told Ricky. We both were in disbelief. I choked up with her. If it was fake news, still choked up. And then it didn't take more than a minute. And somebody had said TMZ confirmed it. It was true. I'm thinking still it could be fake.
Which take that with a grain of salt. They were the ones to break the news a couple of years ago about Jerry Lee Lewis, and he didn't die until 2 weeks later. There is this very sick, twisted thing going on in our media where people want to be the first one to get the news out. They're like waiting for someone to die.
That's why I didn't want to do this right now.
It's real this time, bro.
And that's what still though. I mean, I don't want to feel like CNN breaking news. Hey, Hulk died.
That's right.
To everybody else, he's a wrestler. To me, it's a friend.
That's right.
And I'm getting friends of mine, tons. I didn't even look at the phone. I'm sure 50 plus since we've been on here. Text, you know what they're about. But them talking about how this crushes them, and man, he was a persona, he was a person, he was a character on TV, and just crushing you. Well, what do you think I feel like? That's why I just thought this ain't right. But
you're not doing this for views or clicks.
But my brother said the same thing. He goes, "You were legitimately a good friend of his. You need to be the one to tell some fans are wanting to know everything right now." And the only thing I'm going to tell all of y'all is he was a very good man. He did what he could for the boys. He was generous as hell. Some of my favorite stories with him. When Brooke, you remember they had the Hogan Knows Best, which Knobs was a big part of.
Yep. I watched every episode.
Yeah, and then they had Brooke Knows Best, and I remember when she was just little, and Hogan always trusted me enough to, when he have her in the matches, Marty, brother, watch her while I go to the ring. And I'm not be scared to death because what do I do?
Something happens, you're in big trouble.
Well, I'm just scared of kids. I don't have none, so I'm scared of them. What do I do?
We need to get into that in a future episode. I've wanted to talk to that, but
okay.
Anyway,
that's a big thing. But yeah. And now I think she was little. There was a couple of the boys. They always trusted me to watch their kids when they went to ring. Haku was one. Some of the boys on TV today, I actually held like this. Trusted me enough for whatever reason. of all the guys. I'm the cut up, I'm the goofball, but they know behind all the cut up and goofball is a good person, a one you trust your kids with, and I got that a lot. But
unless there's a scooter around.
yeah. But what was I going to say? One of my favorite things, besides him asking me to watch, Brooke is taller than me now.
Yeah.
I was last time I saw her. It was at some signing about a year ago. I looked over, saw the big banner, Brooke Hogan, and I'm like, holy shit. And I went over and said hi to her, and we hugged and took a picture. And she's like 2 inches taller than me.
She just had a baby, Marty.
Huh?
I'm thinking, I guess that was Hulk's first and only grandkid. Brooke just had a baby earlier this year.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, man. I know this has got to be devastating.
The last time I actually, and now, of course, because I always thought it'd be, I'd see him down in Tampa at his club or whatever it is, sports bar, whatever that thing is. Always thought I'd see him again.
Good, bro.
Gee, the last time that I actually talked with him, sorry.
Just get it out, man. You got it.
But last time I spoke with him, Knobs had called. They were out partying. And he's Knobs, he's a wild fun man. He's all about the fun. And he said, "How you doing, you fuckhead? What are you doing here? Hogan will say hi." You put Hulk on the phone.
For anybody that don't know Knobs, he's not just like that on screen. That's Knobs 24/7.
Yeah, that's real him.
He's intense, bro. I mean, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So, we said, "Hey, how you doing?" And like I said, "So what are you doing these days? I ain't talked to you in a couple of days." "Oh, brother, everything's the same except you ain't with us." Which means we're partying our ass, but where are you? That was the last thing. That's the last words I heard from him. And, of course, I'll remember everything. Because, it was funny, being around him was always special. Because he was a very intelligent man, too.
Oh, hell yeah, he was.
Somewhere throughout the day, you were going to hear something that you weren't going to forget ever. At another time, he had a party at his house for, like what he did with the boat. This was just at his huge ass house. About 30, 40 of us. I'll get some of them pictures together too. We're all hanging out and having a great time. This is where I wanted to say this reflects the personality, the person he was. He had one of them big ass scarab boats. I don't know much about boats, so scarab, but it's one of them long, big ass ones, I guess. You can get 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 people on. And that's about how many we had of the boys, all the wrestlers. And we went riding up down, I think it was Clearwater Beach.
Yeah, that's where he lived.
Yeah, and went by the first time, saw how many people were out there, and he goes, "Watch this, guys. You ain't going to believe it." And turned around, came back inward close enough, and was just going slow. Somebody recognized him on the beach, screaming out, "There's Hulk Hogan, there's Hulk, there's Hulk, there's Hulk." And then the whole beach is like screaming and hollering, and he breaks down and starts doing his poses. And the beach went wild, with hats up in the air and all that shit. And I was like, holy shit. You could ride by on a boat and have everybody on the beach hollering at you, and you break down and do the shit, and they go crazy for it. And he evidently did that all the time, because he knew it was going to happen.
So we had a mutual friend, Johnny G. And at one point in time, he started something called MCW, Micro Championship Wrestling. It was midget wrestling. And that was when I got to meet Hulk.
County Green died, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he did, and he was such a good guy, man. I'd love to talk about him one day. When I had my knee surgery and couldn't work, he let me book the midget wrestling for him, and always made sure my check was there, so I had money when I couldn't work. Great guy, and he took care of his wrestlers, man. But they actually got a show on TV called Hulk Hogan's Micro Championship Wrestling, and one of the episodes was at Wild Bill's up in Atlanta, and that's where I got to meet Hulk. And at the end of the night, everybody wanted to meet Hulk, obviously. He waited until every fan, he went out back, and there was just a mob of people hoping to see him come out the door. He went outside and met with every single fan before he left that night, dude. And he was there a very, very long time. And that's where that was, right there out back behind Wild Bill's in Atlanta. And he didn't have to do that. I've been to so many of those shows where he could have easily just gotten in his car and took off.
I mean, that's what I mean.
And he wasn't rushing them either. A lot of times they want to tell you their whole story. I remember when you wrestled Orndorff. I remember when you wrestled Andre. Hey, brother, I got to get out of here. He didn't do any of that. Sat there, listened to every single one of them. He truly appreciated his fans, and I don't think he gets enough credit.
And see, that's another thing, and I've had that same experience. But mine would be at arenas. Leaving the arena, one example that stands out was in Chicago. And after the matches, the wrestlers leave out in the back. The fans know where you leave and all that. So they're out there waiting after the show. And Sean and I just got through wrestling and we're still in our gear. So we're still sweating. We're still wet. We're going to go to the hotel to shower instead of at the building. But somehow we got put on last that night. And I think what it was Hulk wanted to flip because he had to be somewhere else, another part of the country. He wanted to go on fourth and switch us. They switch us to main event, which means you can carry the ball if that's going to happen. But so we're leaving, and still a ton of people out in the back and autographing. And I stop, and Sean's like, I'm going to get the car. I got to get the car. I'm going to get the car. He's like fighting through him and goes to get the car. And I sat there, and I looked around like, oh, boy, it's like 20 degrees and wet. You got a towel around neck freezing, but signing autographs. And it wasn't going to stop until I was going to try to get them all. And Sean pulls up in the car up and he's got the light on and flickers the lights the first few times. And I see him. I'm like, okay, so now I'm signing faster. And then after a while, Sean starts blowing the horn. I'm like, oh, shit, he's going to get mad. It's faster. I got almost everyone. It had to be 300, 400, 500, 300 people. And I got almost all of them. Sean's like pissed. You can tell he's blowing the horn and blinking the light. And so I was like, I got to go. Those few that got left, I was called every cuss word in the world. I stood there for 30, 45 minutes in the fucking freezing cold while I'm sweating. And you just can't win, bro. I mean, it's going to be like that. So if that's like that for me, imagine what he went through.
Oh, dude.
And
well, Flair said himself, anytime they went to signings, that it pissed him off because as long as his line would be, Hulk's would be like multiple the size of Flair's. I mean, I think back when Hogan Knows Best was on, I don't know what study it was, but I remember somebody mentioning Hulk was in the top 3 most recognizable people across the world. Like next
one
to
time
Jesus
he was
Christ.
number 1 on that. It was the most recognizable person in the world.
Yeah, I think it was Elvis, Hogan, and Jesus Christ, like in the top 3. Are you kidding me? He was just.
Oh damn, that's a whole different. I was talking about today's people. Yeah, it was on Sports Illustrated, the most recognizable athlete. But
let me ask though, Marty, because I'm genuinely curious. Do you remember the very first time you got to meet Hulk?
Yeah, it was our first day.
Tell us about it.
When Sean and I walked in the back, he first person, our first day from AWA days, and when we moved up to WWF, walking the back, and there's the first person. I don't remember the exact order, but one was King Kong Bundy.
So sorry to cut you off, but you met him first in the AWA before he went to WWE?
No. We were leaving AWA.
Okay, gotcha.
Going there. And
there's a lot of people might not know this. Hulkamania actually started in the AWA.
Yeah, that's where he came from. Yeah.
Yep.
And no, but I didn't meet him there. But I met him. We came in, and all these monsters walked by. Big John Studd, 6'9", something, 100 pounds. The shortest one was 6'4", 450 pounds. That was King Kong Bundy. I mean, the one-man gangs, 6'7", 390. All these monsters were walking. Hogan's huge. He walks by, and I looked at Sean, and I'm like, nah, man, let's go. We don't belong here. I mean, where the fuck do we fit in with this?
What did it feel like standing beside them, Marty? And that's back when you were probably at your biggest, too, right?
225, 230 is about the biggest.
Yeah.
But the thing was, he actually came over and welcomed us. Not all the guys did that. As we later found out, there were so many that were like, who are these young punks think are coming in here as hot shots? That's the furthest thing we thought. But that's what they thought we thought, which was what made coming in so hard. But he was the first one to come over and welcome us. That would be what they were gone for a year.
And would come and party with you guys. At any point in time, somebody that was really jealous, back in the day, it would have been Polaroids. They didn't have cell phones. But they could have tried to destroy his career or whatever. But he was one of the boys. He wasn't too good. He came out there and hung out with you guys. I think that speaks a lot to who Hulk really was.
Well, and there's some stories I'm not going to tell, for obvious reasons, that, now that stays with the boys. But he was one of the boys through and through. Trust that.
That's all you need to know.
And he was popular with the Hollywood kind. Now we'll leave it at that. But another one memory that stands out is, and I'll say this: he's always liked me for whatever reasons. He took a liking. I love him to death. For some reason, and I think I know where it started. I know where his started for not liking Sean, when it was the tag team, the Rockers. I know where it might have started, but why it carried on, that I don't know. Sean would have to explain that. But we were sitting around in a hotel room, me, Beefcake, Hogan, and Sean, and the Gulf War has just started. You remember that?
Oh yeah, my father-in-law fought in it, man.
But he was doing a storyline against whoever it was. Was it Sergeant Slaughter or Sheik, Iron Sheik, whoever it was?
Oh, that's right. That's when the Wrestlemania between him and Slaughter happened.
Yeah, then the Gulf War lasted one day because it wouldn't just bam and bomb the shit out of it.
My father-in-law's told me all about it, dude. It was extreme.
Yeah, and it was over. So we got that news while we were sitting in a hotel room waiting for that night. Just cutting up, sitting around, chopping it up, bullshitting. And it came on TV, which was pretty much the war's over. And Hogan spoke up, says, "Oh shit, no, not yet. Let it last a few more months," because the WrestleMania that year between him and Sheik. And Sean stood up and he goes, "Fuck you," to Hulk. I'm in shock. I'm thinking, we just lost our job. What the fuck is Sean doing? And then Hulk's just standing there just looking. Beaver's just standing there looking like, what? And Hulk's looking, he goes, "What'd you say, brother?" And he goes, "My brother's over there fighting, and you're saying let it last." Hulk immediately goes, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't think about it." And he did what you would do. If you didn't think about that, you were just thinking about the money. The storyline. But I think Hulk felt like he could have done it a different way rather than stand up and say "fuck you" right in front of everybody.
Yeah.
I guess that I don't know. But some years later, Shawn and Hulk had a match where Shawn just made a farce of it. You remember that?
Yeah, and you know, Shawn was one of my favorite wrestlers too, but I'll just, I don't care who it pisses off, Marty, so I'll just say this ahead of time. It's not Marty's opinion, it's mine. The way I've seen the wrestlers shit on Hogan made me lose a lot of respect for the boys because a lot of them wouldn't have had the opportunity to become who they were without him. And I don't think they gave him the credit he deserves. They kind of tagged along with WWE trying to diminish his character and his impact. And of course, Hogan came from that old school era where he had to protect his legacy. And because Shawn didn't like that, he went around overselling everything, as it's been told. Allegedly, that's how I've
Ridiculous.
heard it.
No, I watched it. It was like, oh, come on, Shawn.
Yeah, I didn't care for that, man. I lost a lot of respect for Shawn off of that. And like I said, I'm a huge fan of Shawn. He was one of my favorite wrestlers. But
in that particular match, if he wasn't just doing his thing against Hogan, you're exposing the business to the people. You're telling them, look, man, it's a joke. It's fun. We can do whatever we want. What's this?
What?
Come on, man.
Jarrett, man. The one time Jarrett just went in the ring and laid down, because of what Vince Russo was trying to pull off.
Yeah.
If you want to know why the wrestling business went down, it's stuff like that. As a kid, you could suspend your disbelief, but because of people like that and their egos, it really just diminished a lot of the respect that people had for the business. I did not like that at all. No other business would somebody discredit or do that to someone of Hogan's legacy. Yeah. You're talking about the very top. People ask about the Mount Rushmore of wrestling all the time, and it's so frequent. Hogan doesn't even get mentioned. It's like, are you kidding me? Come on, dude. Do you think anybody else, Marty, could have done what Hogan did as that babyface, that 80s run that was bigger than any babyface run? And then in the 90s, reinventing himself with that NWO run and becoming just as popular as a bad guy. I don't know anybody. Then came back as the babyface.
Who the only Hulk left, shot it up, and the two guys I think kept it going were The Rock and Stone Cold. I think those two kept it going.
Oh, absolutely.
And then from there, there's wrestling. All of a sudden, ESPN is covering wrestling. All of a sudden, it's on every news channel. All of a sudden, whereas before it was we don't want to hear about that.
It was looked at as a joke.
Yeah, but
yeah. I don't know, dude. That NWO. I've heard that Hogan wouldn't sell to anybody. He wouldn't lose to anybody. If I remember correctly, watching in that mid to late 90s, Hogan lost almost every single match when he was a heel.
Yeah.
Or he had to do something to cheat to get it, but it didn't seem like he had a hard time trying to put someone over, as it's been stated.
I don't know what just reminded me. I don't know what you just said. It reminded me though of Hogan putting people over something. But he came over to me. We were in a different. I don't know which country because we were in so many countries. We were in a different country where we didn't speak the language, and everybody knew who he was, but he didn't know how to speak that language. He goes, "Hey brother, come here, help me. I don't know what the hell they're saying." I'm like, I don't either. But that was a fun one.
I got something to admit, dude. So I am very bad. Like any of my friends, if they ever listen to this podcast, they can confirm it. I refer to any guy that I'm friends with as brother. as I talk to you. How you doing today, brother?
Yeah, of course.
I probably got that from watching Hogan growing up. Not just that. My dad was a preacher, so everybody called my dad Brother Carol, and then my mom was Sister Carol. But
no, it's a natural thing, though.
Up, I do it all the time, and I've had people that sincerely get offended that I call them brother, and that's just me, man. That's
yeah. I mean, that's a common, but that is a common thing that, that white boys that we say, hey brother, yeah brother.
It's actually a sign of respect.
Yeah, I guess, or the likemanship, if that's the fucking word. Excuse my language, if that's a word. But and brothers use the word ninja when they talk, like what we say, hey brother, they say hey ninja, but they don't say ninja. They say the other word. But that's like brother to them. That's another thing a lot of people don't understand. But because I'm embedded in with around and love my black people. Man, I love people though. It's not about.
Dude, it's just gotten so blown out of proportion. People have made it too big of a conversation, I think. And just love people, man. Love people. The world needs to stop getting offended about every little thing.
And that's what I always say. Like sometimes, did I see the bad shit Sean did? Yes. But for so long, Sean was, he was good to me. I can't, well, he's good to me. There was a point where he stopped and he started treating me like he did fans. And that ended up not good for him. And that's, the only time that happened. And then we came back and we're back where we are. And it's, my whole life, I grew up in a bad place. So, I mean, anybody that likes you, you like them. Because there ain't too many, not to where I came from. But, I have a hard time. Sometimes people say, you like that? You like him? Do you know he did see that? He did. And I do. And I don't like that he did. But I can't hate him because of our personal relationship.
You're going to take away everything about a person's legacy off of a mistake. I mean, that's just kind of the culture that we're going through now. The cancel culture. If I don't like you, I can just cancel everything. And what hurts my heart, I knew it was coming. I saw WWE's statement right before I got on, and I gave a little piece of my mind about how this is the time where they can actually give him the credit that he's due, and that the fans will be watching. I won't go all into that. But I saw somebody bring that up in the comments about what Hulk did, and made a very bad comment like it was deserved. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Out of everything this man's accomplished, that's what we're going to talk about right now on the day that he passes away? Absolutely not.
I hate to say it, but it's a limited mind.
It is.
Because I don't want to call anybody limited, but that's a limited mind. Like, oh, this happened. It's like, come on, man. Like right now, Donald Trump, because there's pictures with him with the Epstein guy that did the underage girls, whatever, all of that. All of a sudden now Trump's a pedophile and he's this and that. Man, come on, bro.
Dude, I mean,
he was friends with the dude, had a picture with him, then for some reason stopped hanging around with him 25 years ago. Maybe that's what he found out. Who knows? Who knows what all? But that's what I mean. It's just like, grab one thing and that's all I need.
I just hope
there is not a single one of us out there listening right now that there ain't one single thing in your life that if someone knew, they could go, that wasn't right. Shit. Anyway, man.
Out of everything, Marty, at the end of the day, I'm sure
this is not going to end here. I mean, I'm going because my phone, I still see it lighting up every 3 seconds, and I know what it is. I'm a lawyer. And when any of us dies, to us, it hurts bad. Um, it happened so often back in the early 2000s that we started building an inner circle when your phone rang at 2 a.m. That's another thing. Usually it's late at night you get these calls. This happened today at like 10 a.m. But you get that call. First of all, it's 2 a.m. If it ain't one of my partying buddies, something's wrong. And the first questions you hear what happened, it's like, oh, shit.
What's it like?
Because you know it's going to be who just died.
What's it like when you get those calls, Marty?
Do what?
What's it like when you get those calls? Like, what feeling? I know, like, back in 2013 is when my dad passed away. I got the call at midnight on the dot. Not 12:01, not 12:02, midnight. And my mom told me she thought my dad was passing. And then got my family in the car. He was at the VA in Atlanta, and we took off. And 10 minutes later, I got another call that he was gone. We didn't have no time. We didn't know anything was happening. And for years, even till this day, if I get a call around midnight or after, it's like someone dumps a bucket of ice water on me. I'm already bracing. Like, what kind of call am I getting right now?
Yeah,
I'm sure that you can relate to that feeling.
Yeah, more than one way. Hold on.
Yeah.
Again for you. Love you, brother. The only time my late night calls come are from my other partying buddies that are up at 2, 3, 4 in the morning, drunk as hell, wanting to cut, drunk dial, we called it. But when we started getting, what do you call it, phone where it shows who's calling, ID, and you see a name like, okay, this ain't one of the partying guys. Oh, shit, what's up? It became so common that when you would get that late night call, you didn't even look at your name thing. You would just like prepare. Okay, who? And after a while, we picked an inner circle because it was happening every third month on average for years. I think the USA Today newspaper says 70 wrestlers died in the last 10 years. So that's average, 7 a year. And it was just constantly. They blamed it on Vince, said because he made us work so hard on the road and yada, yada, yada. Bunch of bullshit. But they, God damn, phone's about to vibrate on the floor. Just could be all day. I mean, I can't get around it. I don't know if I put my phone away because I don't think. Go ahead when I get off here.
The only thing that might be equivalent to something like this would maybe be Flair. In no disrespect.
Don't. Oh boy, don't do that.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying as far as like the importance of what happened.
Oh yeah.
I think the only thing that might be able to match, like, the loss that we just experienced today would be like a Ric Flair. But just,
or The Rock or Stone Cold.
I'll be honest with you. Like,
and more so them because they're younger and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah. Well, my thing though, Marty, is I don't think there would have been a Rock or Stone Cold as we know it without Hulk.
Well, there wouldn't have been nothing. There wouldn't have been nothing. Wrestling might have went back downward.
They might have been there, but would it be as we know it? There wouldn't have been a WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have had your WrestleMania moments without him. You can't compare yourself to Hogan. There's no one.
This shit got so good that WWE was able to have a girls division, and they had their own pay-per-view from, if I remember right, it was just all the girls matches. I mean, that back in my day, there was 1 or 2 girl wrestlers, 3, 4, one on the card, if any, that night. I mean, now they have their own entire show. I mean, that's just how much wrestling advanced. To where, pretty girls. Back in the day, rough, tough girls got in it. Sherry Martel kind of changed that a little bit. Sonny never wrestled, but brought a pretty face to the screen. But then as it kept growing and going, pretty girls started wrestling. And then when pretty girls saw pretty girls wrestling, it was like, hey, I want to do that. And look at today. It's unreal. Be glad it wasn't like that when I was there.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I was actually thinking that as you was talking. You would have gotten even more trouble. The gap would have been uncontrollable.
Hey, find some good questions, man, because I'm...
Yeah, guys. And Marty, if you got to cut it, man, just let me know. Guys, if you got any questions, I think more than anything, it's just been people making comments. Brian Liv said Iron Sheik is talking shit to Hogan right now. Harmony Express, the Mega Powers are now reunited. That's another guy right there, Marty, that I think didn't get his just due was Macho Man.
Yeah.
He got in the Hall of Fame years later, but the impact that Savage had, and he never even hardly got mentioned. That was a very sore spot with me because there was Hogan and Savage was right there under him.
Yeah, and that was what was hard on me personally was they were both my friends, both very good. Randy, in fact, I might have been closer because he would call me on days off wanting to go to the strip club. He's like, "What are you doing, brother?" I'm like, "Nothing much. You want to go to the dollhouse tonight?" Yeah.
You do a pretty good Savage.
Huh?
You do a pretty good Savage.
Fuck, I should. I was around him enough.
And he really talked like that.
Yes.
Behind his hands.
One time we was in the airport, and we go up and he orders a drink, like a soda, in the airport. Get one of them diet sodas over there. And the girl goes, "Randy Savage." And he goes, "How are you doing?" She goes, "Is that so? That's your real voice?" And he goes, "You got a problem with it?" And she almost dropped her hands, like what she had in her hands. But because that was his real voice. And when people would challenge him on it, like, "Oh, come on, man, what's your real voice?" But he got pissed off. I mean, I guess he didn't want to have to sound like that.
My favorite story of him, dude, is Knobs and Sags. I don't know if you was there. Were you there for the fart heard around the world over in England?
It seems like I wasn't there for it, but I don't know. What is it?
So I went over to England for my first time almost 2 years ago to interview Jordan Peterson. And I was so glad to be over there, man. But the one thing I did not like while I was there was the food. It was very different to me. And I know, like,
very small portions.
Well, a piece of bread with baked beans and a boiled egg for breakfast. That's a recipe for disaster. And Sags, that's what he ate that morning for breakfast. And he said they were in the van with all the guys, and he had a big fart come up. So he was like trying to cut up with the Sheik, and he busted one out, and they said it was huge. Unfortunately, when he did it, Miss Elizabeth was sitting right behind him. And then they said the boys just started blowing it out of proportion, making it even worse, and kept getting Randy madder and madder. They was like, "You made her hair part. You farted so hard." And Randy was livid. He wanted to kill Sags.
Hey,
and he went as far as, like, he sent Elizabeth home on a plane, and they had to fly her back to England, and it had to come out of Sags' paycheck, all because of that fart.
That's hilarious. I didn't hear about that one. I should have probably was there. I just didn't hear about it.
That's what I was wondering. We got to get them on the podcast one day, dude.
Yeah, well, they're both buddies, so they might very well do it.
But I haven't seen any. Questions. If you guys got some questions, throw them down there. I know Marty's probably going to have to take off here in a second, but it's mostly just people paying their respect to the Hulkster, man. It's
It was a good one, man. Don't let the bad shit you heard influence you. He was a good brother, very good brother. He took care of people. Some of them probably didn't deserve it, but if he liked you, he liked you, and took care of you. I mean, out of all the boys, I don't know of any others. Maybe not that many others were making the money he was making, but I don't know any others that would throw parties and invite you down on a yacht or on a 3-decker, 4-decker ship to float around for 3, 4, 5 hours partying. You ain't got to pay a dime. Good food. I mean, it was good food. There was a good band. It was party, 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 party. And all you do is go enjoy. He threw it on, and he did that a lot. He didn't do it once or twice. He did it a lot. I
You
don't
never
know.
got to go to his club down in Clearwater, did you?
No.
Dude, I'm so
The one that's there
glad.
now?
Huh?
The one that's there now, you mean?
Yeah, I am so glad, dude. I got my family to go on vacation. I wanted my girls to meet Hulk. And here we go. This was at Hogan's Hangout just back in 2023. They got to sing karaoke for the Hulkster. And afterwards, he took a picture with him. Jimmy Hart was there. Dennis Rodman showed up that night. And they were so happy. They listened to Eye of the Tiger all the way there and all the way back. They knew how big of a fan their dad was of him. I'll never forget that moment, dude, for him to take that time for my girls.
Yeah.
And now they've got this picture. Just makes it that much more special, man, to see how good he was with his fans. But yeah, that club, dude, up until he got sick, every Monday night, you could go to his club. He was there.
That's what I heard, you know.
And he hosted the karaoke.
Yeah.
It would have been awesome if we could have got Marty down there for a Party with Marty karaoke podcast.
There was many times I was planning on it, never made it around. Now I won't get to. In fact, I'm wondering what they'll do now.
I don't know, because he had a lot of stuff in the making, dude. He had a new company coming out with Bischoff that he was actually getting involved in amateur wrestling, collegiate wrestling. He was putting that company together with Bischoff. He had his Real American Beer. And then he had another Hogan's Hangout that was getting made, another bar. He already had another one. He had a beat shop in Orlando. I don't know, dude. The wrestling world just is not going to be the same. There's going to be a lot for him to figure out, you know. And shout out to Jose. I see you down there in the comments, man. He was the one that actually gave me the news first.
Who's that?
Really good guy out of the Texas area. Big Von Erich fan. Thank you for bringing that to my attention today. But this is going to be a loss that I don't know about for you. It's still, I don't think has sunk in for me. It don't seem real.
Well, I mean, for me, it sunk in right away. I mean,
Did
the very first one that I saw, I was like, "Ah, man, it's fake ass news." And then 2, 3, 4, 5 come right in a row, and they were saying TMZ confirmed it. So then I'm thinking, "Oh shit, is it true?" And then one after another, called and texted, and like, no, they put it out officially. He had a heart attack. And
well, Bubba's been saying it for the last month that it was happening, and everybody was calling Bubba a liar. There were several people. I know Brian Blair, who I'm friends with. I texted him. Runs the Cauliflower Alley Club. He put out a statement. Hulkster is not on his deathbed. And I guess at that time, that was the truth, that they didn't expect this to happen. I have seen a report. I don't know if this is true, guys. So take every bit of it with a grain of salt that they were called this morning and that it was cardiac arrest. I don't know. I know he had so many problems with his back for what he did for this business and for what he did for us as fans, guys. I remember the first time I met him in Atlanta. I remember watching him walk. I felt so sorry for the guy. It was kind of it was almost like his back was detached from his bottom half. And at that point, he had already had like 9 surgeries. His back was kind of bowed like this, guys. I lost Marty. He'll probably hop back on here in just a second. But they could never get his back right to where it used to be. But yes, Jason Moaning said, I was hoping the news was a hoax. I was too, man. I felt the same way with Ozzy. I mean, my childhood took a beating this past week, and they say it comes in threes. God, please, knock on wood. No more. Please, no more. I know it's one of those facts of life that's coming for all of us. I'm not ready to let go yet. I was such a huge pro wrestling fan as a kid. And the fact that I live in the same town as Mr. Janetty, he was one of my idols growing up as well. Him and Sean watching the Rockers. This is a dream come true for little Eric. Getting the people I grew up watching, getting to do this, and the fact that I'm on this platform with Marty so I can get out my heart with this too, man. This was the top of the mountain. Hogan just doesn't get his, I've said that many times during the podcast, but he has been disrespected so much. And why, I don't know, because he made so much money for people. And you know what? He didn't talk crap back at them a lot. I'll get off of that. I'm going to wait for Marty to get back on. I'm going to read some of your comments, man. Zorius on here said, Hogan is one of the people that should live for eternity. I know people die, but this legend, my childhood. Yeah. When Marty gets to pop back on, I see that question there, guys. So, but I don't know, dude. I don't think, as it comes to this, that there could have been a death in the wrestling business anywhere near this. All right, we got you back. Yeah. And I got a couple questions for you. We'll throw out, and then we'll hop off of here, Marty.
Hey, but see, that's just how it could happen. Symbolic. But my computer went dead and life was over.
That's it. We got this. It said, Marty, did you and the Hulkster ever share any women together?
As I said earlier in the show, there's some things I'm going to not tell.
This was a really good question from Jose. He said, Marty, what stands out the most to you about Hulk Hogan's role as a locker room leader or his influence on the business side of WWF in the late 80s and early 90s? What stood out the most to you about that role that he led as the leader?
The pressure he could take, the way he put the company on his back and ran with it. During good, during bad, during whatever came up. It was on his shoulders and he ran with it. He did not back down, say this is too much. He was just a strong individual.
That's it. All right, guys. Obviously, we didn't have much time. We wanted to come on here and spend some time with you. We will do a much more in-depth planned podcast where Marty can bring out some of his pictures and bring out some more memories later. Before we get out of here, Marty, anything you would like to leave the fans with about Hulkster in this sad day in pro wrestling?
Well, just to remember that man made what you love today. There was many people helped, but that's exactly what they did was helped. That man made what you're here for right now. Wrestling news, wrestling shows, Wrestlemania, everything. That man made it happen. And he was a good dude on top of it.
That's it, man. Thank you for the memories. I did look up. It was twins. Brooke just had twin babies earlier this year.
Oh, damn.
And so they just lost their grandfather. I know he had a new wife. She just lost her husband. Gotten to meet Nick when I was down there. And, This is just sad all the way around, guys, and it's going to be a big one to process to the WWE. I hope you show the respect that is deserved of the legend that really built this business, man.
Hey,
And Marty, I know it's a lot for you to process as well,
well,
man.
I'm just going to say, in a way, thank y'all all here right now listening to this, because it's kind of helped me. What? Helped me. There's going to be a hard day. There's no way around that.
You're doing a lot better than when we first talked. It was actually, I could tell it's been healing for you to be able to get it off your chest.
Yeah, so I thank you and everybody watching for that. Probably sounds weird, but y'all helped.
Well, that was, I get it. Coworkers, yes. But that was like family. You guys did everything together. You traveled.
What people don't realize is when we did all the time, they still do from what I understand. We went to many, many, many countries, other countries where wasn't even close to being able to speak that language. Sign language, common sign language, come here or stop or whatever, wasn't even working. You only got each other. There's a special bond in that alone. When you've been around the world together and you experience the world together and you to each other's backs, protecting each other, especially when we would go out. Because in other countries and would go out, there's some American wrestler guys they're going to try you. And more than one, ain't one going to come up on you. It's going to be a group. So we always had to have each other's backs. And it's a special bond that's created when you've lived through that. Military guys that are stepping way ahead of us on that, but they can tell you when you've got each other's backs from harm, it's a special bond. It's already a special bond because we give each other our bodies to take care of in the ring. Let's go make 20,000 people happy. Use my body, I'll use your body. So that means take care of my body, I'll take care of your body. And when we do it over and over and over, that's a special bond that can't be created anywhere else other than the military. And we're, I'm not saying we're nowhere near that, but yeah. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and figure out what else to do with the day about this, because I'm not going to stop hearing about it. Every family member, of course, pretty much already.
You guys, y'all created history together. I can only imagine. Well, really quick, I know I've had you for a while. We planned on coming in and out, and we're an hour and 20 minutes into it. It's just hard to. There's so much that we haven't even gotten to touch the surface with when you talk about the Hulkster and pro wrestling. But Marty, as being one of the boys in the back, what was it like during that peak when the Hulkster would come out those curtains and then entrance music hit? I'll
give you one better. We were wrestling in Philadelphia in the Spectrum. It was back then. It was called the Spectrum, a great wrestling arena. A great wrestling city. And we were starting to get popular, Sean and I. And we went down to the ring at probably our peak of our thing. And God, the pop in the crowd, we were looking at each other like, man, they like us, don't they? They like us here. It was the best we ever heard. But it was a 6-man tag. So then they hit Hulk's music. And my God, the hair stood up, not from us, from the energy, the people, when they focus, all them 20,000 people, all of them's energy is focused in on that little ring in the middle of the arena. All that energy hits you at once. It's like static electricity thing. Our hair would stand up. And I'm looking at him, he's looking at me, and I said, "Do you feel that?" And he's going, "Yeah." Holy shit. I mean, the energy that he brought to arenas, nobody tops that. I'll go out and say nobody tops that. Nobody tops that. Back in his heyday, the early 90s, when his music hit, that's an example. That's when it was 90 or 91. Nothing ever came close to that I've ever experienced, and I've experienced a lot. But yeah, man.
And if I could, man, one thing that always bothered me with that is I remember that when he first came out, they had the "I am a real American," and it was like really soft before the guitars hit. Dun, dun, dun. And for some reason, WWE later on took that intro part out and just went straight into the guitars. Go back to the original, how it starts really soft, because that with his pop when he came out just made it so much stronger.
The timing of it, yeah.
It was always a nitpick with me because I was like, it minimizes the impact that actually had back in the day. And I think nothing was more evident of his impact on the business than was it WrestleMania 19 or 20 with him versus The Rock, when he was supposed to be the bad guy and they started booing The Rock out of the building.
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever been a match as emotionally charged as that one. Yeah. The crowd was so conflicted. I'm supposed to boo him, but he's the man. He made this right here. And it was just such a great moment in wrestling, dude. I'll never forget that.
One of the best, yeah.
All right, Marty. Hey, brother, you take care today, man. And I'm available to you morning, night, day. You got my number if you need it, bro.
I know that. Thank you.
All right, and take care to you fans.
All right, thank all of y'all for joining in. We love y'all.
See you guys.